And for more on China's role in rebuilding the Chernobyl exclusion zone, our colleague Mike Walters spoke with Teng Jianqun. He is the director for the Center of Arms Control at the China Institute of International Studies.
We can interpret this deal from two aspects. The first is from the capacity of solar production in China. You know, China is the leading player in this regard, and last year the total, power production reached 43 gigawatts, and also 70% of the facilities used in the solar power production were from China. So this is a very important part for the commercial cooperation with countries like Ukraine. And the second implication is that this is actually a very sensitive project in the Chernobyl exclusion zone because of the radiation, even after 30 years of the disaster. I think this is very sensitive to all the countries concerned, and China is willing to take the responsibility to help Ukraine to recover the disaster. And of course, this is the social deal between the two countries.
You mentioned two really good points, the leading player, but also the sensitivity. Most people would think there's really no way they would tread into a territory so seemingly off limits. Can we see this move by China as a way for the Chernobyl exclusion zone to actually open up again?
Yeah, I think this is a big step, by this cooperation, just to show the rational and possible cooperation in that area. As you mentioned just now, I think China would like to be involved in the recovery of the disaster and gave some help, assistance for Ukraine government. And this is actually not a commercial deal. This is actually a political cooperation between the two countries, and is of great significance for the future cooperation in other areas in Europe continent.
Great significance. It's really interesting. China will choose to build a power plant in a region scarred by nuclear radiation. It's been 30 years since the accident. What else can other countries do to follow in China's footsteps in this rebuilding process, do you think?
Of course, this is a very, a good example for the other countries to think about the possibility to cooperate with Chinese companies in solar power production. And as we discussed just now, China is a leading country in this area, in technology, in science, and of course in its production. So I think that might be a new area why we're facing such a heavy pollution in Beijing, in some other part of the world. The new energy should be a good substitution for coal and for gas and for oil. And I think this is actually a promising and shining industry for all the countries in the world.
Mr. Teng, thanks so much for your time.